For more than 50 years, one name has stood taller than any other in drag racing: John Force. The 16-time NHRA Funny Car Champion shocked the motorsports world this week when he announced his retirement. At 76 years old, the man who seemed like he would never stop racing has finally decided to step away from full-time competition. The news hit hard, not just for drag racing fans, but for drivers across all forms of motorsport, including NASCAR veterans who have watched and admired him for decades. John Force didn't just win races. He won hearts. With 157 career victories and a personality bigger than the grandstands, he turned every event into a show. Win or lose, fans came to see him light up the scoreboard, talk a mile a minute in interviews, and, of course, lay down those long, smoky burnouts that became his signature. But everything changed in June 2024. During a first-round run at Virginia Motorsports Park, Force's funny car crossed the center line, hit the wall at over 300 miles per hour, and broke apart. The crash was one of the worst in recent NHRA history. He suffered a serious traumatic brain injury, broken bones, and spent weeks in the hospital. Doctors, family, and even Force himself knew that coming back to race at the same level would be nearly impossible. After more than a year of recovery and reflection, he made it official. The 2025 season will not see John Force behind the wheel as a competitor. What the NASCAR guys had to say. Two well-known NASCAR veterans, Wallace and Schrader, didn't waste any time sharing their thoughts on a recent podcast. Both men have raced against Force in exhibition events over the years and have nothing but respect for what he accomplished. Schrader put it plainly, what a career. He was still winning when he got hurt. He was on top of his game right up to the very end. That says everything. Most drivers slow down as they get older. Force somehow got sharper. Even in his mid-70s, his reaction times at the starting line were still among the best in the sport. Wallace added that Force hasn't completely closed the door on climbing back into a race car. He told me he might come back and do a burnout or two if the fans cheer loud enough, Wallace said with a laugh. Another guest on the show jumped in immediately. That would be awesome. Who doesn't want to see John Force do one more burnout? And they're right. A John Force burnout isn't just smoke and noise, it's theater. He would hold that pedal down until the tires turned into clouds and the crowd was on its feet roaring. It's hard to imagine drag racing without that moment. A retirement nobody really wanted, including John. In his retirement video posted to social media, Force was emotional but still sounded like the same old John. "I'm done racing," he said, pausing for a long time. Then, with a small grin, he added, "But I won't say I'll never get in the car again to warm it up or maybe do a burnout. If you cheer loud enough, I'll hear you." That line brought tears to a lot of fans' eyes. This isn't a man walking away because he wants to. This is a man walking away because his body finally told him he has to. Wallace was careful to point that out. People need to understand. He's not just old and tired. He got really roughed up in that crash. Even doing a simple burnout is a big deal for him right now. The traumatic brain injury he suffered still affects him daily. Speech, balance, and memory have all been challenges during his recovery. A legacy that will never fade. 16 championships, 157 wins, thousands of interviews that left reporters laughing or scratching their heads. Countless kids who grew up wanting to be just like him. John Force didn't just set records. He set the standard for what it means to be a professional drag racer. Young drivers today talk about leaving it all on the track. John Force invented that idea. He raced hurt. He raced sick. He raced when no one thought a man his age should still be doing 330 miles per hour in 4 seconds. And he almost always found a way to win. Now the torch passes to his daughters, Ashley, Brittany, and Courtney, who have all become stars in their own right, and to a new generation of NHRA drivers. But none of them will ever fill the exact space John Force occupied. There was only one, the final word. Drag racing will keep going. The lights will still drop, the cars will still roar, and new champions will be crowned. But every time a funny car does a monster burnout and the crowd loses its mind, people will think of one man. John Force didn't just race cars. He lived every single second of his life at full throttle, and he made the entire sport more exciting because of it. So if he does decide to strap in one more time, just to warm the tires and lay down one last cloud of smoke for the fans who never stopped cheering, nobody will blame him. Some legends don't fade away. They just do one more burnout before they go.